Present this evening, Monday, July 14th, 2025, are Mayor C. Holland Purdue III and Vice Mayor Benjamin K. Mullins. Council members A. Ralph Casey, David K. Clements, J. Tyler Lee, Mark H. Newbill, and Lucas A. Tuning. Also participating this evening are staff members as noted.
Do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, you all have the agenda in front of you. We'll look for an approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. You have the consent agenda in front of you as well. We'll be looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The consent agenda is approved. All right, we have a public hearing this evening on the Community Development Block Grant, and we have no one signed up to speak. Mr. Wood, you want to say anything about that?
I don't think we're required to read anything, Daniel. Or
Yeah,
do
we
you-
are.
Oh, you
Yeah,
do need
so
to say
I'll-
something. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. This evening we'll be talking about that North Main Corridor project that we were undergoing last year. You might recall that we had a grant funding planning process to give us a revitalization plan of the North Main Corridor, at the end of which we submitted an application for a grant to fund the implementation. We were ultimately not successful, but we received feedback from the funding agency, and so we're optimistic in our resubmission this year. As a reminder, this is federal money, so there are a lot of boxes that we have to check, including doing two public hearings, the first of one this evening. I'm going to have to read off some things here. It is pretty boilerplate, so just bear with me as I read these. The following activities are eligible project types and can be funded through the Community Development Block Grant Program. Blight remediation, including streetscaping and facades, housing rehab, public infrastructure, economic development, energy use and conservation, and planning activities which consist of all costs of data gatherings, studies, analysis, and preparation of plans and the identification of actions that will implement such plans. Funding is available for up to $1,250,000 for business district revitalizations and $75,000 for planning grants. Funding will benefit low to moderate income individuals, and no activities will result in displacement. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we had nobody sign up to speak, so there's no action that's needed on that item. We'll move to the hearing of citizens. Again, you have 3 minutes to speak. If you would, come up to the microphone, state your name. First, we have signed up Corey Lunsford. Mr. Lunsford?
How y'all doing?
Doing well.
Good.
I just wanted to come up here and read 2 Virginia codes. I gave you folks a slew of them, but I think the most relevant is going to be 24-2-305 and 24-2-308. Each election district and precinct shall be composed of compact and contiguous territory and shall have clearly defined and clearly observable boundaries. A clearly observable boundary shall include any road or street, any road or highway in the federal primary or secondary VDOT system. Drainage features shown as a polygon boundary on a tiger line in the U.S. Census Bureau. Any other natural or constructed or erected permanent physical feature, which is shown on an official map by the Virginia Department of Transportation. No property line or subdivision boundary shall be deemed to be a clearly observable boundary unless it is marked by a temporary or a permanent physical feature that is shown on an official map issued by the Virginia Department of Transportation. 308. There shall be one precinct for each town unless the council by ordinance establishes more than one precinct. Each town precinct shall be wholly contained within any election district used for the election of one or more council or school board members. Council shall be established by ordinance. And included with all that paperwork I gave you is a handy drawn map of the town annexation that was published in the Roanoke Times. I marked the current town boundaries. I marked the proposed annexation boundaries in red. I marked the locations of the closest census block tiger line in dotted red. And I located and marked the only physical features, that is Virginia Department of Transportation mapped roads, 220 Business, 220, 40 West. I also included the election districts Blackwater and Union Hall on the map in case you wanted to reference the locations of some of these properties. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you. Next, we have Ms. Glenna Moore.
Okay, David, this is some more stuff that wasn't in our history book. Good evening. Glenna Moore. From the beginning of the Civil War, as early as July 1861, enslaved people were used by the Confederacy in various roles of wartime support. The enslaved had no choice. Work included tasks like building fortifications, serving as cooks, laborers, and teamsters at Confederate Army camps. No military rank was given to these workers. In fact, Confederate law before March 1865 prohibited black men from serving as Confederate soldiers. So the whole idea of so-called black Confederates is a little confusing. On December 12, 1862, the court was held at the Franklin County Courthouse for the purpose of carrying out a Confederate States of America policy to send slaves from all Virginia counties to labor at Confederate camps. This October 3, 1882 policy was entitled An Act to Further Provide for the Public Defense. Franklin County justices were ordered to enroll all male slaves between the ages of 18 and 45 into Confederate service. The justices were required to make out a report that states the names of the slave owners and names of the slaves and report the physical condition of each slave. Peter Saunders Sr. applied to the court to exempt his slaves from the requisition order under the grounds that his slaves are engaged in making iron for manufacturing guns for the Confederate States. The court, however, refused. A court continuance on December 30th, 1862, was for the purpose of putting into action the required requisition of Franklin County slaves for the public defense of the Confederate States. The justices made a report as required. The court proceeded to allocate the slaves and assure that the slave masters provide the assigned numbers of slaves requested of them. Slave owners were then required to deliver the slaves to the county sheriff at the Franklin County Courthouse. 15 men were assigned by the court to show up at the courthouse and put a current money value on each slave. The slaves were then herded to Richmond by way of Danville. A full copy of the list of the slaves from Franklin County was made and filed. A copy of the requisition order had to be posted at some public place in the village of Rocky Mount. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. All right, we have some new business this evening. First, we'll start, Mr. Moore is going to present on the award bid for sidewalk project north side of Tanyard Road, approximately 875 Tanyard Road, Bangabad to Pell Avenue.
Good evening, Council. Straightforward project. Funding was identified in a CIP that for this current year, fiscal year '26. For this project, it is approximately 800 feet from the Bank of Botetourt, their new sidewalk there in front of the bank, down to Pell Avenue. And so efforts to try to make the town more walkable. This is an obvious connection route. And so we put it out for bid. Bids came in at $164,000. The estimate in the CIP that was passed in the budget was $150,000. We got one bid. Those are included in your packet. This is a project that would be done before school lets out. So the reason it's before you is the cost. Our procurement policy states anything over $100,000 has to come before council for approval, and so that's why I'm here tonight. So what you have before you is the one quote, and I can answer any questions.
Did you say it was gonna start before school started? Or start
It will be complete
complete?
before school starts, yes.
Okay.
If I said started, I was
Mark, I think
misspoke.
the contractor might start as early as tomorrow if it's approved tonight, right?
Correct,
This price is for the work and the concrete?
everything.
So that's approximately 150 yards from the start to the end.
Yes.
In the past, we've used the workforce in the town to do small projects like that. Had you considered that?
We have considered it. Considering their workload, we put it out for bid.
I know they're real busy.
Yeah, yes.
Other questions of staff? You need a motion, if that's the case.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to proceed with the additional $14,000.
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? That motion carries. Next, Mr. Wood will present the purchase of the programmable logic controllers for the SCADA system that controls the town water system.
All right. If you have any technical questions, Kevin is in the back of the room to help us with that, so I'll give you the basic overview. Almost everything on the water system is controlled by what's called a SCADA system, which allows all of the different controls for pumps and tanks and everything they do to produce the water and get the water moved around town where it needs to be. And that's all automated these days. It allows things, if something goes wrong, it allows for Kevin or other people at the water department to monitor these things even from home. So it provides some convenience and also just gives them better ability to monitor the system. Periodically, it's necessary to update that equipment and make sure everything works with the system that we have. We knew this was coming, so it was in the capital improvement part of the budget this year, and we budgeted $260,000. In a very rare case, that came in under $260,000. So the amount of the bid, if you see it, is $251,463. There is only one bid, and it's because this is like most software and technology, it's proprietary, so it's a sole source situation. This is the only company that we can get it from. And so it's ready to go. It came in within budget. We just need approval, like Mark said, for the last item because it's over $100,000.
I'll make the motion to proceed forward.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. The last thing on new business tonight, Mr. Wood will present selection of contractor for the North Main Street water line.
All right. Again, we're here because this is a bid that's over $100,000. We bid out the water line replacement on North Main Street. I think everyone knows about where we're talking about, but it's in the general area of where the police and fire departments are. And that's an area of pipe that Public Works has had to do a lot of work on over the last, I don't know, probably 5 or 10 years, just because the line really is in need of replacement. You can see the evidence of that in the road where they've had to patch when they do that repair work. So, the project was bid out, we had budgeted 800,000 for the project, and it actually came in at 1.8 million, so quite a bit over what we had budgeted. We only received one bid. We think that there may be some room to talk to and negotiate with the contractor on the project. Not really sure how much room yet. And so the staff recommendation, if council is okay with it, is to allow staff to negotiate with the contractor to see if we can bring that price down. And that if we, to a level that would be acceptable, which we would then come back to council for. If we can't get the number down to what we feel is a reasonable or kind of a realistic number for the town, then I would ask you go ahead and just say that go ahead and reject the bids. If we can't get it down, we can't do the project. And so
What did you say that figure was?
1.8. Yeah.
Is this again something so specialized that we would normally only get one bid?
No, it's just, I asked our engineer, no, it's not. So this is not a sole source or a proprietary situation. It's, I mean, I don't want to oversimplify it, but it's a water line. So there's a lot of contractors that do that kind of work. Our engineer said that the contractors right now, he thinks there's two main issues. One of them is that they're all pretty busy, and so they're not, even though this to us sounds like a big job, it's not a big job for some of these companies. And the second part is that he said that they're having a lot of labor issues right now, just having enough people to even do the jobs that they've already agreed to do or they've already contracted, and they don't have enough labor to bring on additional work. And that's why one of the thoughts is if we negotiate with them, we can't get that price down to where it's something that we think is reasonable, then it might make sense to wait and maybe hope that some of those issues get cleared up to where we can bid it out in the future and get more bids on it.
What's the life expectancy of the current line that's there? I mean, I know that's a dice roll question, but do we have kind of a
You mean
general?
how long the existing line will last?
Yeah, and again, I know that that's a $1 million question, but
Well, I mean, technically, it could go on about as long as you want if you want to just keep doing repairs on it.
of course.
But then, you're kind of doing repairs of repairs at some point. So, yeah, so I can't give you a good number unless Brian wants to make one up, but, yeah. It's just, you can see in the road all the repairs that have
Right.
been made because of the patches. And it's been something that's been talked about for a while, and unfortunately, the timing may not be great, and that may be the issue that we ran into.
What is our average, do you have an average cost for the repairs that we've been doing so far? I mean, is there something to measure that by?
You mean, like other pipe replacement?
Well, just for that area within itself.
Oh, I don't know, Brian, he's asking if there's a way to estimate what the repairs are costing us to do or right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. Yeah, we were surprised at the amount because, like Brian and I talked about earlier today, sometimes if you have a 2-lane road and the water line is in one of those lanes, well, then you've got to have flaggers there the whole time that are alternating the lanes and doing all that. But in this case, we can actually close a lane and still keep the road open. So we're not sure why it came in as high as it did.
I was just curious, like if a repair, every time we go out there, is it 20K, 40K a pop to do it every time? Something like that.
It's not that much because, if you think about it, it's gonna be, 4 or 5 guys, some equipment, and they'll be out there for, I don't know, anywhere, maybe 6 hours or so. Like the one Saturday night was a good
Okay.
example, the one that I'd let y'all know about Saturday night. They were out there for 8 hours or so. And so it's not gonna start getting into that level. One of the issues that it's kind of hard to quantify is that when that happens, you're gonna have to shut some water off, and so people are gonna be without water for that amount of time. And so there's that issue that you can't really quantify, but people tend to not be happy when the water gets shut down for 6 or 8 hours.
It kind of ties in with it, but where the potholes are so bad out there now, there's one, I know everybody runs over it when you're going north, right there at the firehouse. And is that something that we could fit into the schedule at some point? Even just where those big potholes are, yeah.
I think the one you're talking about,
Just fixed.
there was some work done on that one. It's actually got a little bit of a lip now instead of being a dip, because
Okay.
they always do that, because it's
Sure,
gonna
settle,
settle,
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
gonna settle. But yes, that section of road needs to be repaved.
Right.
But of course, we don't wanna repave it and then immediately cut it.
Sure.
So that's one of
Yeah.
the reasons that this project is important, because if we're going to try to repave that section of road, we wanna get this done.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons that we had it as a high priority, because we would like to repave the road, we just don't wanna do it until we get the line fixed.
Correct, yeah, that's good.
So what staff would like to do is to go back, negotiate, try to get the price down. Do we need to decide a set number we'd like to get it to?
I don't think so. I mean, you know, that's up to council. I don't think you do, because our thought was, if we can get it down to what we at the staff level think is a reasonable amount, that's also, you know, affordable in the sense that we can pay for it, then we would come back and get council to approve moving forward. If we either can't get it down at all, or not enough to where we feel like it's a significant difference, then we can just tell them, you know, we're sorry, we're gonna have to reject the bid. But yeah, we'd have to come back to get approval if it's a number that we think makes sense to bring back to council.
I feel good with that.
I'll make the motion to move forward with researching to get the price down to closer to the budgeted figure.
Second.
So,
And to reject the bid as presently bid.
Yes, sir.
so we got, so negotiate and then bring back, reject it if we can't get it down, correct?
Well, I mean, I would reject the bid currently.
Right, if they can't negotiate. I'm
Correct,
just-
yes,
all right,
sir.
all right.
Yep.
And is that your second?
That's my
All
second.
right, very good. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. All right, that being all the new business tonight, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? This meeting's adjourned.
That's a big difference.
It's a lot of money for a water line.
That's what we thought.
That's deep.
Feel like I can buy me a mini X and help out.
That was the reason I was wondering, it's like,